Get ready for Monday Mortgage Minute with your hosts, Tom McNamara and Bruce Woodburn.
All right. Happy Monday to you.
Happy Monday, MLK Day.
Yes, it is. And what a day to celebrate. What a wonderful man. I wish the world could come together with a lot more of his philosophy.
Yeah, it'll be great, wouldn't it?
Listen, we already started this session. The whole government session started on January 13th. It ends on March 13th. Tell us a little bit about what's going on with that, because my understanding was DeSantis's idea or philosophy behind this bill was really already starting to get in motion, and that's what they would be working on. But that may or may not be the case.
Yeah, no, it's not even at all the case. So, it's been interesting. Obviously, he knew that there was a lot of pushback to what he wants, and I'm not sure why. Because what he wants makes the most sense of
Well, it's also the easiest.
Well, it's not quite the easiest. There's easy ones that don't have any impact, right? Or have very little impact. But his is the right balance of having an impact, right? To the right people, Florida homeowners, people that live in the state, right? So yeah, I can review really quick. They've got 30, they've got like 8 bills total, right? I'm not going to go through them all. It would take too long. There's 3 that are getting talked about a lot more than the others. One is HJR 203, I believe, which is the one that eliminates non-school property taxes for homesteads.
Yeah. It's either, I thought it was 201, but it could
201, 201, not 203. I get them mixed up sometimes. I think it's HJR 203 that's actually the one that gets rid of non-school taxes only for senior citizens.
Okay.
Right? Which is nice. That's a nice thing. We should have done that a decade ago, right?
But if we're trying to solve affordability in housing, that's not going to do the job.
It's a nice sentiment. It does something positive for seniors, but it's not the right bill ultimately, because the right bill would be what DeSantis wants to do, which is not being talked about. The other big bill that's being seriously talked about is the HJR 787 that actually gets rid of all property taxes completely across the whole state.
And there's a lot to be that are attached to that one as well.
Yeah, that one has the 5% exit fee, sales tax, whatever they want to call it. And man, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I think that would kill it. I don't know who would vote for that. And I don't even know why it's on the table or why they're discussing it.
I think, honestly, I think the whole thing is they're trying to make it not. I truly think that there's nefarious goings on in the legislature that are trying to put up crack bills that won't get passed. And then they get to say, well, see, nobody really wanted it, Right. As a matter of fact, there was a recent poll done by Florida Policy Institute, I believe is what they're called. And I don't know if you've ever done a poll or looked at a poll, but the question is usually worded in a way that gets them the answer that they want, right? Sure. So they put out the question was basically, and I'm absolutely paraphrasing it, but what's more important, property tax reform or property insurance reform? Well, 62% said property insurance, 32% said property tax. Okay. That's probably because, insurance is rising really fast. Property taxes have risen slow and we're used to them. But in the question, they also said, so it wasn't just simple, hey, which one do you want? It's like, oh, by the way, local governments are going to have to cut services, including parks, libraries, police, fire. It's like, yeah, of course we're going to say no to that, right?
Right.
So the thing is that the right plans actually have revenue replacement in them, right? It's like, hey, how can we keep this revenue coming, right? So we don't have to cut services. And
well, I think HJR 201 really, and it, like I said, it may not be the most simple, but it seems to be the one that makes the most sense because it keeps it relatively simple. We're going to eliminate all property taxes on homesteaded properties only.
HJR 201 does not get rid of all. It's non-school. That's the problem. Non-school, you could still pay half the bill. It cuts your bill in
Your
half.
bill's down. I think it's less. I think it cuts it more than in half.
It's about half. It depends on your county and where you are. It's somewhere between 40 and 60%. So I just call it about half. But here's the thing. Remember, this is the kicker. One of the kickers is we don't want to kick people out of their houses for not paying their property taxes, right?
Correct.
Well, if you're not paying your non-school property taxes, you're still going to get kicked out. They're still going to put a lien on it. They're still going to sell that lien and you're still going to get foreclosed on. So
Through that, but if your bill gets cut in half, I think
I'll
that would
take
be a good solution.
if that's the only, this is where I am right now. If that's the solution they put on the table with that or the nuclear option of getting rid of it all, I'm picking the halfway. I get it.
Same
But
here.
that's picking the lesser of two evils, right? And by the way, I do have it up in front of me now. It's HJR 203 phases out taxes over 10 years. And it doesn't really phase them out. It just increases the homestead exemption by $100,000 a year.
It just continues to increase the homestead exemption till it's
And
gone.
then it's only non-school. So you're still paying the school taxes, right? And then HJR 205 is the senior bill. So I have my numbers off sometimes. So I have to go to my notes and look at them. But yeah,
It's a lot to keep track of when that's not really our business, but we've made it our business to keep our listeners informed.
yeah, and I do have a day job, right? Selling real estate. But I did just over the weekend, I did a really big update for my YouTube channel. It's gonna come out next Sunday.
Let's hear about that.
Well, it's going over all this, right? And then not only am I going over all this in detail, but I'm also proposing what I call the people's proposition, right? The people's proposal.
Yeah.
And I took it from what Ron DeSantis wants to do, which I think is the right solution. And I added some elements of some of the other legislators' ideas about revenue replacement. And I think I came up with a plan that actually makes the most sense, right? And I can review it in a minute really quick. First, total abolition for homesteads, 100% of property taxes, no more. The only thing you'll still see on your tax bill is non-ad valorem fees, things like garbage, stormwater, or whatever, things that are already there. Then those get capped. That's the next key is those have to get capped. And by capped, I don't mean they can't go up, but capped meaning that you can't create new ones, right? So if you don't have a police fee today, you don't get a police fee tomorrow, right?
I see.
So it's only the ones that already exist. That's it. And also lockboxing them. So they can't just say, hey, garbage is now $1,000 a week and then take all the money and put it in something else, right? Forget it. It has to stay where it is and the money has to be budgeted into that line item. Then the third thing is no foreclosure for not paying those fees. Okay.
Okay.
So, right. So same as we have today, where if you don't pay your fee, it goes onto a lien, right? And the city can collect that lien when you sell, and they can decide to sell that lien just like they do today, but no foreclosure on it. Just make it so that investor that pays that fine, they get interest and they get paid out when the property sells. Too bad, right? It'll be a lot smaller amount of money anyway. And then the revenue, here's where the revenue path is for me, is taking the sales tax to 9%, right? So the extra 3% is actually more than enough. We actually only need 2.85%.
Okay.
To the difference. Okay. So we raise it up to 3, combine that with the Doge efficiency that we're getting where they're cutting the budgets. Okay. And take that extra little bit, whether it's 15%, the 3% to 285, or if we can get it lower, and put that aside, put it into a lockbox, because sometimes sales tax is going to dip. We're going to have a hurricane. We're going to have, something happen. We're going to have a recession, right? So we need a little bit of extra money in a fund that's lockboxed, right? And then the last thing is what I call the rural guarantee. So one of the big people that are against this, a lot of the rural counties, and I get it, right? They get all of their revenue, most of their revenue from homesteads.
Okay.
They don't have a big they don't have hotels, they don't have restaurants, they don't have
a lot of commercial
convention centers, right? They just said they have strip malls. And agricultural land is virtually free for taxes, right?
Sure.
So yeah. So they're going to get way too much cut, right, of what they have. So to make them a little bit happier, out of that extra 3% sales tax, they're first dibs, right? They get their money first. We'll make sure they're taken care of. Then the rest of that money can go to the other counties that have other revenue sources, right?
Sure.
So that's my plan. I've got
That's a great plan. I think I'm going to vote for you. Can you just be part of the whole orchestration of writing this bill?
So here's what the answer is yes, right? I have it written and I have it prepared into a couple of different documents. One of those documents is what I call my action pack. The action pack has the verbiage you need to tell your senator or representative or both what you want done, and then all the email addresses for all of them. So you can send it to yours or every one of them if you want to. And then the third thing is the actual plan itself. So I'm going to be putting all that out on Sunday, and hopefully we can.
I love it. You have been so proactive on this, Tom. Anybody that wants to know more about it, check Tom's YouTube channel out. I'll put it on this video podcast. So, but listen, you've got the answers. At least you've got most of them. You're digging in deep. You're uncovering all the shenanigans that go on behind the scenes that our governments deal with all the time. But at the end of the day, if we don't pass one of these, it could be a while before it passes again.
It's going to be a while. I think also that obviously depends on who becomes governor, right? Because DeSantis can't run again, depending on who wins and how hard they want to fight for this stuff. If it doesn't pass,
there's a couple of good candidates out there right now, so we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, I want to thank you for all you do to help us understand everything that's going on with HJR 201 and all the other numbers and acronyms that go after it. So thanks, Tom. Appreciate your help on that.
Absolutely. And Bruce, really quick, I know that today we didn't have any market movement, but last week we had some decent market movement where rates are down a little bit. I think I saw generically we were below 6% on average. Am I right?
No, we actually have fallen to about 5.99%. I thought I had a chart up here for you. Let me see if I can get it on the screen. But yes, we saw some real good activity. Now, it's not huge. Some of this could be trailing on the whole idea behind the government buying mortgage-backed securities or treasury bonds. But as you can see in this chart, the last 5 of these are last week. So you have Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and Monday. And then the week ago, Friday before that was that doji that reaches up real high there. But we're all running within about 50 basis points on the market. Things are getting better. We're going in the right direction. Interest rates are improving. It's going to get better and better for those that need to refinance, and it'll become more affordable for those that need to purchase. We can get this tax situation under control. We're already getting insurance under control. I have information that Citizens is actually already improved by 8.7%.
So that was another announcement that DeSantis made during his State of the State speech, or I think it was actually before the State of the State, where Citizens is at 8.7%, and it's down in South Florida where they have a heavy number of their policies. It's double digits. It's like 13%.
That's
and so we have 17 new companies, insurance companies in the state, which is great. More competition, right? Should drive rates down. And I forget how many of the other not Citizens companies.
Yeah, like Peninsula and Security First. Yeah.
They all announced rate reductions as well. It's not going to make up for the last couple of years of it going up so much, but I'm digging into that as well as a side job to my side job. I'm digging into the insurance thing and what's going on there. And apparently it's a problem throughout the country. It's not just
but Florida, California, Arizona, we've probably got it the worst. Florida ranks the highest for insurance costs.
We are. I'm just saying it's everywhere. It's just worse here. And we felt the big increases worse. And obviously we have more risk, and we have, I don't know what the current stat is, but at one point we had 8% of all the insurance claims and 80% of all the insurance lawsuits, right? So
what a mess. What a mess.
More to come on that.
We will have more on that. Thank you, Tom McNamara, EXP, for joining us. Appreciate it very much. Have a great day.
See you, Bruce.